Good evening, everyone. As he said, my name is Sandy Novak, and I would like to take a few minutes to speak about my cousin, Moti Zoharman, who was murdered on October 7th, and share part of our family story. My mother grew up in Oświęcim, Poland. The German name is Auschwitz. She was one of 3 who survived the camps from a family of 10. After the war, she met my father, who was born in Chernobyl and was a major in the Russian army. She was then reunited with her sister Scylla, and the 3 of them, with my sister Rose, who was 2 years old, moved to Israel. And this was 1950. There, she was reunited with her brother Shmuel. A few years later, my parents settled a world apart in Canada. Shmuel married and had 3 boys. His firstborn son was Moti. Though we were separated by thousands of miles, Moti and his brothers Moishi and Sviki, as well as Scylla's daughters, Shlomit and Dorit, were never far from our hearts and minds. Our cousins in Israel were the only family my 3 sisters and I had. I remember during the Yom Kippur War how distraught my mother was because Moti was a paratrooper in the IDF and she was terrified he might not survive. When I visited Israel for the first time at 18, I stayed with Moti. He owned a leather store on Dizengoff at that time and had recently become a father to Ben and Tal. He adored his children, and later on, the same devotion for his grandchildren. Moti survived colon cancer 15 years ago. He was known for a colorful tattoo on his stomach, which ultimately helped his son Ben to identify his body several days after the Black Saturday. Surviving colon cancer inspired Moti to embark on a spiritual path that led him to fully embrace joy and friendship everywhere and anywhere he could find it. He attended dance festivals and lived in Goa, India for half the year. He had an exuberant spirit and an unshakable belief in the power of love, peace, and dance. His philosophy of life was simple yet profound. Peace and love are the foundation of human interaction, and dance is the universal language to bridge gaps and build human connections. To me, Moti exemplified the very qualities and values that we cherish in our family. On October 7th, as Moti ran to his car to escape, he saw this beautiful, young 21-year-old man named Keshet. Keshet was shot in the leg. Moti carried him to his car on the way to the hospital. They also picked up another couple who were in the back of the car. Unfortunately, they were ambushed and murdered by Hamas terrorists. His ultimate sacrifice mirrors the legacy of our grandfather, Moshe Zoharman. After surviving the Holocaust, my mother was told that her father was last seen holding out his hand to help a woman who had fallen on the Auschwitz train tracks. He was shot on the spot, killed by the SS for that act of kindness. Moti and our grandfather's actions remind us of the profound impact an individual can have on the world, the importance of standing up for what is right, helping those in need, and leading by example. We will remember them not just for their heroic acts, but for the way they lived their lives with love and courage. On Moti's Facebook page, his friend Simona wrote, "Moti, beautiful soul, heart of gold, may your memory be a blessing. May you dance in the light now." And I say, may Moti's and Keshet's memories be a blessing. Am Yisrael Hai. And now it would be my honor to introduce Keshet's mother, Natalia Kasarati.